Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this video. This is Doug with News and Views by Doug. This is where I talk about world events, politics, and pretty much anything else I feel like talking about. And the Persian Gulf, as the last couple of days we've talked about, is exploding. Not only is the U.S. hitting Iran extremely hard, they're hitting the bases, of course, but also power plants and water facilities. And they also took out most of Kish Island, which was a naval port and airstrip for the Iranian Air Force, whatever's left, or their Navy, whatever's left. And so they're hitting them really hard.
So this footage right here is said to be in Desful, Iran, and check out the size of this explosion. Absolutely massive. I think at a minimum, this is a 5,000-pound bunker buster bomb going in. Those secondary explosions tell me a lot of different things. Ammo storage facility, Shahed drone storage facility, ballistic missile storage facility, potentially with rocket propellant lighting off. Just an insane explosion that you can see basically from hundreds of miles away, absolutely rocking the IRGC's missile storage facilities. And then this footage is breaking news as well, coming in from CENTCOM, absolutely decimating Iran, taking the gloves off against their ballistic missiles. Remember, it's a huge country, 2.5 times the size of Texas. So it's going to take a little while to decimate Iran. So this looks like rocket propellant igniting right here. So you can see those secondary plumes of explosions lighting up, basically rocking the entire country of Iran. Bunker busters going in and striking IRGC complexes.
But Iran also retaliated, and they launched ballistic missiles into Kuwait and Jordan, and then again into Tel Aviv in Israel. And you'll see video where the missile defense systems appear to be missing a lot of these Iranian ballistic missiles.
Fire up the footage. So you can see interceptor, that's an interceptor going up. Here comes the ballistic missile. And it misses. And right there, direct impact on the base. Here comes another ballistic missile. Another interceptor up, and it missed. Multiple interceptors have missed. Here comes another one. And that sounds like an intercept. Direct impact right there. I believe that's 3 direct impacts with possible 1 interception. Here comes another one. Is it going to make it through? It is. Direct hit. Another direct hit. Absolutely insane. And then right here, again, this is going to get loud. This is video footage, never before seen, newly released video footage of the IRGC missile launches. Let's watch. So this is footage of the Iranian missile launches over the past day or so. So you guys get the idea. They are unleashing missiles, but fear not.
Yo, desfila, lo mami, lo mami, lo mami.
And the missiles are hitting their targets. So what happened yesterday was Iran again attacked 2 ships and caused a lot of damage. I believe there was 1 person killed and 7 or 8 other crewmen injured. Now, the thing is, a lot of these ships are crewed by Indians. And they're talking that India might get involved in the war. We already know that Saudi Arabia and the UAE have attacked Yemen, and they'll be drawn into the war with Iran, which they already are. But we also have the UAE and I believe Bahrain has been hitting Iran back. So there's just a lot of things going on. But the biggest news is that President Trump is going to make a nationwide speech on Thursday. And it's believed he's going to be talking about what we've been saying for years is the voter fraud that took place in the 2020 elections. And there's evidence that has been obtained and has come out that several of the blue states that there was cheating on the Dominion voting system, the electronic voting system. And they're even talking that the two senators that are in Georgia, they're Democrat, that their election may not be valid because of the cheating.
This Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern, President Trump will reportedly deliver a national primetime address presenting newly declassified intelligence that foreign nations did, in fact, interfere in the 2020 election, specifically including evidence related to vulnerabilities in voting machines. He reportedly will be flanked by CIA Director John Ratcliffe, acting DNI Bill Pulte, DHS Secretary Markwayne Mullin, and FBI Director Kash Patel. So if these reports are accurate, I mean, just think of that lineup in front of the entire nation. The CIA, DNI, DHS, FBI, the full national security apparatus of the United States government standing behind declassified intelligence in a primetime national address to the American people. I mean, this is absolutely unprecedented. It's not a true social post, right? This isn't just a press conference. This is formal, official, intelligence-backed testimony to the nation. And according to reports circulating as of yesterday, Trump is specifically preparing to challenge the legitimacy of Georgia's two Democrat senators, John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock.
And you'll see video with the president talking. And of course, everybody wants to know what he's going to talk about. But this is going to be a big speech. And he's got all the ABC agencies in the United States are going to be backing him. And there's even one video that shows a auditor with the elections that he's describing how foreign powers got involved and were able to get into the Dominion voting system and got the left elected.
A primetime address scheduled for Thursday. Some competing ideas, what it's about. Can you give us a preview at all? What will happen Thursday night?
Well, I'm going to talk about various things, but I'd rather not say, because if I say, maybe it's going to take some of the guilt off. I think what's going to, this is GILT, when I look at this, when I look at what's happened in this country, so much with the elections, when I look at how rigged our elections are, look at Spencer Pratt. Spencer Pratt was an easy number two and maybe number one, but certainly number two. And all of a sudden they had the mail-in ballots pour in, and Spencer Pratt was gone. That was in Los Angeles. Spencer Pratt was gone. And that was easy. And who beat him? And no name, who was all of a sudden, so great that she got practically 100% of the votes from the mail-in ballots. The whole thing, our elections are crooked, and we've got to straighten them out. We got to have voter ID, we got to have proof of citizenship, and we have to do something about the mail-in ballots, which are just corrupt, crooked, and should not be allowed.
Okay. Oh, and by the way, if you don't think the left is panicking, if you don't think the Democrats are scared to death of the Save America Act being passed, here is Slotkin, one of the most despicable members of this domestic terrorist organization called the Democrats, as I like President Trump. Quite frankly, that's what they are. They're dumb. They don't know anything. They don't understand anything. They love China. They're all communists, and they're crazy. Think of it. They don't want anybody voting in our elections. They destroy that country. And quite frankly, probably they're going to destroy it even further if I don't stop them. You are right, Mr. President. Wrong hand, sorry. You are right, Mr. President. Trump posted this on Christmas Day last year, December 25th, in the year of our Lord, 2025. And I think it really speaks a lot about what he's going to address to the nation on Thursday. Watch. So what you're about to see forensic experts testifying, admitting that in counties in Georgia, Michigan, and other liberal blue-run states, that voting systems were accessed remotely by foreign adversarials. Check this out.
If I'm remembering correctly, there were several states involved.
And which time period are you referring to?
This was 2020.
Before or after the election?
During the election.
In your examination of any of these Dominion systems, have you seen any indication of non-election personnel remotely accessing a Dominion system?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
I too have reviewed a series of emails produced by Dominion in which they're discussing remoting into Gwinnett County, Georgia.
You also mentioned Dominion remotely connecting to election systems, but you don't have any evidence that occurred in Georgia, correct?
There was one county. I've seen a lot of Dominion emails. I've had to translate Dominion emails from Serbian to English to verify the technical questions I was being asked about them, to verify that it was translated properly. So
it's your testimony that there is evidence of Dominion remotely accessing Georgia election equipment?
yes, on the one county. It was included with stuff that I was researching and reading through, considering Colorado. Michigan was also involved, and there were other ones.
To your understanding, is Dominion able to remotely connect to these election systems?
Yes.
Are they able to do that without detection?
Yes.
And are you aware of any instances in which that has occurred?
Yes.
Can you identify those instances?
One would be the Denver, Colorado server was granted, or requested to grant Belgrade, only Belgrade. I did search. There is a Belgrade, Montana. Again, why would Montana need to connect into a Colorado file transfer server as part of the election system?
So Thursday is going to be a big day. The speech is going to be to the nation, I believe. It's 9 o'clock Eastern, which makes it 6 o'clock here on the Pacific Coast. So yesterday there was a shooting again with ICE against an illegal immigrant who was a targeted person. He was ordered removed several years ago, and he didn't leave. So they went after him, and he was shot and killed. Well, of course, all the pro-immigration leftists, they all started, their protests and stuff. But there's one witness who was there. He saw the whole thing. And he said that the ICE agents were barking orders at the driver and that the male tried to use his vehicle to run over the ICE agents. So in self-defense, they opened fire and they killed him. And, it's to the point now that the left don't need an excuse to protest. They will believe anything they're told, and they don't even have to be told anything. They just will do it. So there's going to be a big speech from President Trump, and hopefully the evidence proves what we've thought all along, that a lot of the elections in the blue states, including here in California, are fabricated. And there's just no way mathematically what happened in L.A. with the mayor's race between Bass, Pratt, and this other woman. Mathematically, it's just impossible. So my biggest question is, and I've asked it before, We have all these politicians being accused of wrongdoing, and supposedly the evidence is out there. But I don't see them being prosecuted. Ilhan Omar, Gavin Newsom, Tim Walz. I mean, we've got so many of these politicians that are being accused of wrongdoing. And it just blows me away. Now, we had where Mayor Mondumi in New York City tried to have his people meet with the Iranians, which, you know, it's wartime. We've got American service people being killed, which right now I believe it's up to 14 since this war started. And he tried to have a meeting with the ambassador to the UN from Iran. So now there are several Congress people that are calling for the investigation and for his citizenship to be taken away. He is a naturalized citizen from Uganda, and they want him deported. So, you know, I'm all for that. Let's see what happens. Now, on some interesting news, there's a Virgin cruise ship in the Mediterranean, and it's hosting over 1,000 men that apparently are gay, homosexuals. And they're on their debauchery tour of the Mediterranean. And they were supposed to go to Turkey and Egypt. Well, they tried to dock in Turkey, and Turkey said, oh, hell no. We don't want those kind of people here. It goes against our faith and our family values. So then they turned around. You'll see in the video where they said, oh, we're going to go to Egypt. Well, Egypt turned them down, also said, we don't want you here.
Turkey has blocked an American LGBTQIA+ cruise from docking in the country's ports, saying it's against their moral standards and family values. The Virgin Voyage vessel named Scarlet Lady was on a trip between Athens and Venice, with a scheduled stop at the vibrant Turkish port town of Kasadi for the 1,000-person-strong event. Local authorities have come out saying the ship was banned because it is known for behaviours incompatible with the fabric of our society and our moral values. The cruise will now stop in Cairo, Egypt, and the Greek island of Crete instead of Turkey.
And I find it kind of humorous that you saw all these mafia ABC people that they kept claiming, you know, they're protesting for Gaza. And they keep claiming that they're backing Gaza and that, you know, the Gazan people love the ABC mafia. When there's videos coming out and proof coming out that these people that belong to the mafia, they're being killed. They're being thrown off roofs. They're being beheaded. They're being wiped out if they get into Gaza. And Iran does the same thing. So I'll leave you with this. Here's what I find ironic. So there's going to be a video, and I've talked about it before, and I've shown it before, where the citizens of South Africa are extremely upset of all the illegal immigrants in their country, and that these illegal immigrants are taking the jobs, they're taking services from the government, and they're committing crimes. Sound familiar? And they're rising up, and they're being violent. They're going house to house and pulling these immigrants from Pakistan and other African countries. They're pulling them out of their homes and in some cases beating them and turning them over to the police so they can be deported.
Guys, from now on, South Africa yonke, for as long bengakahambi, every Thursday siyamash
This is happening throughout the world. You've got all these people from Africa, the Middle East, and Pakistan that they're immigrating to Europe, parts of Africa, Asia, United States. And the citizens of those countries, they're pissed and they're rising up. We're seeing a lot of it in Europe. Cambodia told all their Africans, mostly Kenyans, get out or go to prison. Japan is kicking out a lot of the Middle Easterners and the Africans. Countries are doing it. We're doing it here in the United States. And of course, the leftists are all, up in arms. But the one thing, and again, I call this ironic, when ICE goes into a certain community, we started seeing these Mexican Americans. They're all rising up against ICE. They're all flying the Mexican flag and screaming about La Raza, and protect La Raza, and protect their people against being deported. And a lot of times it turned violent. Well, I'm going to show you a video of down in Mexico that the Mexicans don't want these immigrants in their country. That they're coming up through Central America. They're coming from all over the world. And they're not making it across the U.S. border because Trump shut down the border. So they're sitting in Mexico, and guess what? They're taking jobs. They're taking benefits from the government. They're creating some violence and crimes. Sound familiar?
Residents in Mexico's border city of Tijuana are angry the migrants are in their town. Up to 10,000 migrants may end up in Tijuana. They may remain for months while they apply for asylum in the U.S. Locals believe some of the migrants are dangerous. The protesters don't want their tax dollars spent on humanitarian aid.
Que la paz esté contigo, amigo. Que la paz esté contigo. Bendiciones en tu camino.
¡No los queremos!
And here in the video will show you the Mexicans rioting and rising up. Now, the Mexican people were doing this in Mexico City a short time ago, and it was against the Americans and the gentrification of Mexico City. And they're saying they wanted the Americans out. They want the changing of the neighborhoods to stop. They want Americans to speak Spanish, use pesos, or get out. Again, sound familiar? America welcomes legal immigrants. Legal being the key word. America does not welcome the illegal immigrants. And again, it was the most amazing thing when the border was wide open and all these people were flowing through. As a photojournalist, I was covering the border between San Diego and Tijuana. And I've said it before, I was just amazed at how many people there were, and they were from all over, from Russia, China, the Middle East, Africa, and the Caribbean, and then, of course, South America. The one thing I noticed really strange was that while they were waiting in between the fences for the Border Patrol to ship them north, the women all had freshly manicured nails. They had Coach purses. The men were wearing designer clothes, and they were all clean, and they were all healthy looking. I didn't see any of them that looked downtrodden. None of them. And they all had cell phones. Every single swinging one of them had a cell phone. Where'd all that support come from? Well, we're finding out more and more the United Nations is involved in this. The left, socialist, United Nations. So anyways, folks, lots of things to talk about. We can't wait till Thursday. Find out what the proof is about the illegal voting that's happening in this country. But you'll see in one video where a Democrat, I think she's a senator, she was saying that if the Save America Act passes the Senate and becomes law, the Democrats will never win again. Which I agree with the man who made the video. He says, so they admit they're cheating and they can't win an election without cheating.
Here is video of Alyssa Slotkin admitting it in front of the whole world. Listen carefully to what she says.
The other thing that we blocked yesterday was the SAVE Act, right? Which was literally allow this administration to rig our democracy so that it would be hard for any Democrat in any state to win any election.
Wait. Hold up. Time out. I need a TO. Hold on. What did she just say? Did you hear that? She just said this would guarantee that Democrats will never win another election. Why would Democrats? Here's my question. Call me crazy. Why would Democrats never win another election if only American citizens voted in American elections?
So anyways, folks, be safe out there. Stay out of trouble. I'm not going to give you a quote of the day today. The video is too long as it is. But just stay safe. Be aware of your surroundings. There are bad people out there that want to hurt you simply for being an American. And just take care of your family and friends. Thank you so much for watching these videos. I would hope that you would subscribe, help the channel grow. And it's funny, on YouTube, the analytics have killed me. YouTube's killed it. It's not growing at all. But luckily on Facebook, the channel is growing. So anyways, again, thank you so much for watching the video. Please subscribe, hit the like button. Leave a comment if you have one. I'd love to see what you're thinking. Folks, God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Take care and thank you again.